what's up? It's Madi Mashari from the Food Biz Talk. I came across a very interesting article the other day from WSJ. So they talk about Grubhub's strategy for the future. As we all know, Grubhub's been purchased by Just Eat Takeaway for a smashing amount of cash. This article done by WSJ kind of talks about how Grubhub intends to work for the future and what they believe the future is and what their future plans are. So very interesting. What they said is they believe the future will only be they will try to focus on in-house, so they will try to focus on restaurants doing their own delivery over using third-party deliveries such as their competitors Uber Eats. Uber Eats mostly does majority of its delivery using a third-party system. So what happens, the restaurant just cooks the food and then the Uber drivers come and collect the food and deliver to the customer. But Grubhub said nope. Just Eat Takeaway Grubhub, sorry. They said nope. We don't want that to happen. There's too much cost within the logistics behind that. All we want to do is just connect the restaurant and the customer together. That's all. That's going to be our main focus and our main priority. This can be a very good deal by Grubhub because obviously it cuts costs behind the logistic. As we can see and as we know, Just Eat, who's been operating for a very long time, that's the thing they've been using since they pretty much started. It's just recently they started using their own delivery drivers. They started getting their own network, and even that's still very limited. So it proved to be very profitable and very successful for Just Eat. That's why they're trying to carry on that tradition of pushing restaurants to do their own delivery. They're pretty much the only business I'm talking about from the UK compared to Just Eat, Uber Eats and Deliveroo. They're the only business which actually made a profit, a good amount of profit compared to their rivals who are still losing money. Here's a few articles stating Deliveroo lost money. They still haven't made a profit yet per 2020. This is what they are saying. It's been invested there for expansion and for growth to be seen, same as Uber Eats. Uber Eats is projected to not make a profit until 2024. I believe this to be because they're using that fleet system, so the where they use the third-party drivers. I think there's a lot of technology involved, a lot of cost involved, and a lot of time involved, quite frankly. So because they put a lot of focus onto that kind of section, it is making them lose cash, and it is affecting their obviously the profitability of the business. But who knows, in the future they might be making profits off using this. But Just Eat, they're trying to play it safe. Not trying to play it safe. At the end of the day, business is about making money, and Just Eat decided to basically not focus on third-party drivers as much, because on Deliveroo and Uber Eats, third-party drivers carry out the majority of deliveries, whereas Just Eat is, I believe right now, is to be only and although they have recently introduced drivers, their own system of drivers, but I think I will double check, but I believe right now even restaurant-based restaurants are doing more self-deliveries for Just Eat. Okay, and in this video specifically, if you're a restaurant owner, I want to speak about the pros and cons of using self-deliveries over third-party deliveries. So yeah, you're a restaurant, you're a startup, you want to do deliveries, especially during this crisis where delivery and takeout is the only thing you could do. There's no other much revenues coming in any other ways because dining has been cancelled. So you want to be doing deliveries and takeouts. That's why you're gonna be thinking to yourself, should I use third-party drivers or should I use my own drivers? So let's look at the pros and cons of using your own drivers compared to third party. So the advantage of using your own delivery network is that you have more control. You have control of the driver. You know the driver. You could customize your experience based on how you want to deliver the food to the customer. So that's a big advantage if delivering food, if you want your driver to say a certain thing, if you want them to be a certain way, if you want them to represent you by you wearing uniform, you have that control, you have that access if you use your own drivers, that is. With your own drivers also, you get to manage where you want to deliver to. So you could deliver 3 miles away, 4 miles away, 5 miles away, even 7 miles away. That's totally up to you, and that's your control. You control the pay, you control how much they get paid, and how much they're making basically. So you have access to all that. If you choose to use your own drivers when joining Just Eat, Uber Eats, and Deliveroo, you're going to be cutting way less percentage. I think it's pretty much half of what it is when if you use their drivers. So you save a lot of money, and therefore profit. It will be affected obviously, but it won't be affected as much. So you'll be walking home with more cash compared to if you took their drive. And again, you save money, but then you have to spend money as well at the same time. You will have to insure your drivers. That's something you could communicate with your drivers about for business insurance, etc. That's going to be your duty, your business duty, to give them business insurance. Business insurance, that's something you have to cover with your own business. However, with certain apps giving hourly business insurance or monthly business insurance, flexible insurance, it is making it easier these days. But that's just something which the business has to, you have to communicate with your driver about business insurance. As you'll be limited to the amount of drivers you have, because obviously you're not going to be using their drivers. It might be overwhelming for you during busy times when there's a lot of deliveries. You will have to step up and organize which deliveries go when and to whom. So that's going to be your duty, and with limited amount of drivers, that is going to be very hard. So customers' experience might be compromised at that time too, because if you use their drivers, you're not limited the amount of drivers, because there'll pretty much be different drivers coming in for every order. So you won't really have to worry about the food being late, as long as you could prepare it in time. So that's as all you have to be doing is focusing on the food, and the third party business such as Uber Eats, Just Eat, or Deliveroo, they cover the delivery sites. So essentially the customer's food will be delivered to them quicker, and at the end of the day, customers want their food quicker. They don't really care about anything else. They want the food quicker, given to them at a set time. So right now, convenience is key. So with third party drivers, the more businesses that join to use other drivers, that certain business such as Uber Eats and Deliveroo will be needing more drivers. So there'll be more jobs for them, more jobs created, more orders for them, as the demand for the third party increases. So that's always another thing to have back in your mind. However, Uber Eats have come up with something I've seen. I will double check to confirm. I will add this section if you wish, but what they have, you could do your own deliveries and then use their delivery drivers too. So you use your own drivers at the start. If it gets too much, then you use their drivers. But I'm not 100% certain about that. I will definitely look into it. But that could be something all the businesses implement soon in the future. How commission will work out with that, I am not sure. I believe you will have to pay an extra delivery charge. But if you're a restaurant owner, you'll be having to look into the two, think which one's best for you. Customer experience, saving costs, is basically a game of balance, really. What many restaurants do is, if they do use third-party drivers, they tend to increase the prices of menu just so they could make that extra bit and not lose as much as compared to if they just give their general menu. So they increase the price by even 25p to even a pound. That's completely up to you, but you got to make sure your customers don't see, or else you'll have no orders. If they see two different menus, increased price, and they'll just think they're ripped off. So be very cautious with that. Be very safe with that. But I think that might be necessary, because the majority of these third party systems, they charge you 30 to 35%. That's basically almost 50%, and you'll have literally probably no money left over. So it would be a wise thing to increase your prices of the menu if you do choose to use third party drivers. However, if you don't use third party drivers, if you decide to use your own drivers, that can also be another good thing, whereas you have more control over the drivers, the customer's experience. All you have to do is just be focused that the food gets to the customer, because that's something you will have to be on top of. Because usually I believe if you're using third-party drivers, the food gets to the customer quicker than if you do your own deliveries. Although that depends on how many drivers you have, etc. But that's totally up to you. From a customer's perspective, I wouldn't say they wouldn't really care as long as the food gets to them quicker. So if you're competing with third-party drivers, they would expect you to get your food at the same time or at a quicker time. Because obviously if your food doesn't get to you at a quicker time, they'll choose the third-party strategy outlined in WSJ of how Grubhub intends to operate. It is a profitable thing, so they'll have, as they want to be investing in the third party system using other drivers, they will have more cash left over. That cash can be used to be reinvested into marketing, advertising, giving them the more competitive edge to obviously take the lead of the market in the markets. We will see. We will have to see. That's a move made by them, whereas Uber Eats and Deliveroo, they'll be more focusing on using third-party drivers. So Grubhub will obviously Uber Eats and Grubhub are pretty much head-to-head. So Uber Eats, majority of their delivery is done by third-party systems, whereas Grubhub is they are looking to do more self-restaurant only delivery. So will it work out for them? We will have to see. So if you are deciding what to choose, either in-house delivery or third-party system, to look at the pros and cons and what you think is best for your business. All right, that's Mahdi Mashrafi. I'm signing out. Peace. If you like this video, do subscribe and do hit that like button. All right, that's me signing up. Take care.